morning or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Imperator W's, your fedora-wearing Reshiram, with more Tactician's Monday matches. So we're going to start this off with our first battle of the Monday matches, one of two, I believe, and it's going to be between me and JP. So I'm just going to tell you right now, this Sunday Night Brawl that recently happened was kind of crazy. It was, I'm gonna say it, just leave it at that. It was kind of crazy. We had some interesting battles, but these two battles were kind of the most epic of those two battles. So I'm gonna be leading off with Achilles and Fang here, and my opponent JP is going to be leading off with his Settlements and his Weavile. So I'm just gonna say right off the bat, I am not a person who likes to make use of Intimidate Pokemon. It's nothing against the strategy, I just don't seem to make use of them. So, in any case, we're going to trade off Intimidate, and I'm going to pull Fang back out there, and I'm going to send in Achilles here. He's going to be my Achilles Pokemon. And so I'm going to have Achilles Detect. JP's going to go for a Fake Out here. He's going to do some very, very minor damage to Fortin there, my Skarmory. But, in any case, JP's going to go for a Dragon Dance here. I'm thinking, crap, that's not what I wanted. So, Achilles is going to get a bit of a speed boost there. He's going to survive. He completely did not need to, take the hit, but he took the hit, or not took the hit. He kind of just stood there and, took the speed increase. He's not going to be faster than the Salamence. Salamence is going to be faster. He goes for a Dragon Claw into Achilles. Achilles does some... It takes a bit of damage. Goes for a Bug Buzz. I was trying to double down into the Weavile here. Yes, indeed, JP, I was trying to take your Weavile down. It was the biggest threat on your team that I saw. But I'm gonna go for Achilles. That turn's gonna pass. Achilles is gonna get another speed boost, and I'm gonna go for the Ancient Power into the Salamence. I'm thinking maybe I can deal some more damage. And Salamence is gonna go for a Dragon Claw and gonna take down Achilles. So that's gonna be the end of my Yanmega. And I'm gonna go for an Aerial Ace here onto the Salamence. And Cobra here, Cobra's gonna go for a Fire Punch into Fortin. It does a lot, not a fair amount of damage, but it does enough. It also causes a burn, which I was not happy about. And Fortin's gonna activate his Weakness Policy. So I believe the Weakness Policy somewhat mitigates the damage of the burn, but still that was really painful. I did not want to lose Fortin's attack power there because of that burn. But I'm going to send in Fang. I'm going to get in another set of Intimidates off. I'm going to set that Salamence down to neutral. And Salamence is going to go for a Zen Headbutt into Fortin. It's not very effective. It barely does any damage. And my Fang, my Gyarados, is going to go for a Dragon Dance of his own. So, haha, take that. I have the Dragon Dance as well. Fortin, meanwhile, is going to go for an Aerial Ace, take down the Salamence. Everyone's happy now because Impy still has Fortin on the field. Salamence goes down, and Cobra decides to go for a Curse. Because, everyone likes to be cursed. Ain't that right? Ain't that alright, everyone? We all want to be cursed? I think everyone wants to be cursed. But in any case, he's gonna activate his Agua Berry. Fortin's gonna take some burn damage, and the curse was put onto Fortin, so Fortin's not long for this world. Oh, my poor Steel type Pokemon, my poor bird. So out comes Blade now, the Haxorus. So I'm thinking, okay, what is the worst that he could throw at me? And, well, he goes for an Outrage, and he goes straight into Fortin. Fortin is one of my tankiest Pokemon. It's not very effective, but it is still enough to knock down Fortin. That is the end of my brave Skarmory. I'm going to go for an Earthquake, try to see if I can knock out the Haxorus, but I do not knock out the Haxorus. However, I do enough damage to knock out to put this Dusknoir, aka Cobra, to knock himself out with his own curse, but he still gets the curse placed onto Fang, so Fang is not long for this world at all. Or at least not as long as, well, Fortin was. So, in any case, I'm going to pull out Faria, my Talonflame. He's going to pull out Scarecrow. And I was suspecting that he was going to go for the Spiky Shield, so I'm like, okay, I do not care. Why? Because I have Flamezy on my Talonflame. So I'm going to go for the priority Brave Bird Fly EMZ Supersonic Sky Strike attack. And here we go, Freya's just getting ready to charge it up her move. And now we're going to go fly into the sky. Now that we are flying very high, we're now going to dive bomb the Scarecrow here. We do not care that he has a spiky shield. We are still going to knock him out. Not fully knock him out, but gonna deal a fair amount of damage. The Haxorus goes for the outrage onto Fang. Fang does not survive. I really wanted to keep Fang there, but beggars can't be choosers. So, in any case, I'm gonna send out Rayquaza now. Rayquaza here, he was like the linchpin of my team, though he wasn't the MVP of the team. It was actually belonging to another team member, which you will see very soon. So Rayquaza's gonna go for the Mega Evolution. I am not gonna go YOLO, I believe, YOLO Dragon Descent. Instead, I'm going to get off the Protect here, and I'm going to try and see if I can bait out some attacks. While Faria here goes for the priority Brave Bird and takes down the real threat on his team, on JP's team, and that is going to be Blade the Haxorus. Haxorus goes down. And Faria is going to take some recoil damage, and Scarecrow is going to go for a Sucker Punch. I was expecting something like that, but I survived nonetheless. Now out comes Sleep Power, the Lucario. So I'm going to pull my Mega Lucario, or not my Mega Lucario, my Mega Rayquaza out. Going to take out the Mysterious Current, and I'm going to send in Zapdos, the true MVP of this team. So, Mega Lucario here, Sleep Power is going to just go for a Mega Evolution. He's going to go Mega. Scarecrow is going to go for a Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is going to do a whole lot of damage, taking down Faria. That is the end of my Talonflame. I probably should have gone for something else, but nope, I did not. Went for a Flare Blitz onto the Lucario. Lucario is going to go for a Dragon Pulse into Zapdos. And I'm thinking, alright, what is the worst that could happen? So I'm going to send out my Rayquaza now. My Mysterious Wind is up. It's now 3 Pokemon to 2. I'm unfortunately on the side with 2, but Rayquaza is going to go for another Protect. Scarecrow is going to go for a Sucker Punch. Again, he was going for my Rayquaza, but it's not going to connect. Zapdos here is my true MVP. Zapdos is gonna take that Aura Sphere like a boss. Gonna, eat up a citrus berry, because berries are good for your health. And Zapdos is gonna go for the Thunderbolt into Sleep Power, the Lucario. And so I'm thinking, alright, now it's time for the Extreme Speed. I go for the Extreme Speed. It was probably more than enough damage with the Life Orb damage. It's gonna take down the Mega Lucario. Rayquaza is gonna take some health loss. But once again, Scarecrow goes for another Sucker Punch. I'm not giving him that, but gonna give him that move. I'm gonna just sit there and roost back my health. So Zapdos is now sitting on the field, looking pretty darn good. And now out comes the real threat that I was afraid of, and that is the Weavile. So I'm expecting a fake out here, so I'm not gonna take any precautions. I'm gonna force myself to protect against any kind of damage he throws my way, and Scarecrow's not the only one. He's also going to protect because he was probably expecting something else. But in any case, JP goes for a Z move with his Weavile because I was expecting a Focus Sash. I was not expecting a Z move, so this kind of caught me off guard. But in any case, the Weavile goes for the Black Hole Eclipse. And now there goes the Rayquaza. Rayquaza is floating, but he's going to go flying into the black hole. Going to take a very moderate amount of damage from that. But that is enough. I've had enough of JP shenanigans. I'm going to go for an Extreme Speed into the Scarecrow now that he has no defenses. And now it's down to my Zapdos. Can my Zapdos take down the Weavile? I don't believe he can, but I'm going to get the Thunderbolt off. Going to do a lot of damage to JP. JP's not going to survive the next turn, and indeed he does not. I'm going to go for an Extreme Speed and finish off the Weavile. So that is the end of JP. He told me to take him seriously, to not hold back, and well, he got his wish. He got his wish, people. So that's going to be the end of that battle. So for our next battle, this one is going to be against me and Kevin. So I believe this was a very long one, actually. I believe this was very, very, very long. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to be going up against Kevin here. So I'm going to be leading with, I'm going to be using the same team that I used against, I used against JP. And I'm facing an all legendary team. So yeah, this one is 20 turns long. Oh my goodness. So Kevin is gonna, lead with his Primal Groudon and Reshiram, and I chose to lead with Zapdos and Faria. So I'm thinking, okay, what can he do? What can he do? I thought maybe he was gonna try something onto my Zapdos with a physical attack here. So I was gonna go for a Detect, try to absorb some damage. Thinking maybe he would use his Reshiram to target my Zapdos, and I decided to use my Fly EMZ move to target the opposing Reshiram, because I am the only fedora wearing Reshiram around here, and I demand that there be no other Reshirams. But in any case, here I go. He's gonna go for a lovely sky dive bombing right onto the Reshiram. Reshiram explodes, but not entirely. And Groudon actually goes for a Rock Polish, so that actually caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. But in any case, Reshiram goes for an Ancient Power into Faria, so that is going to be the end of Faria. I really should have gone for a Tailwind setup, but I did not go for a Tailwind setup, so that's my fault. And I'm going to send in Fang, because Fang just wants to pull off some crazy shenanigans right now. And I'm going to get an Intimidate off onto both the Reshiram and the Groudon. That's not actually going to do me much favor against the Reshiram, but it is going to help my Zapdos survive the Fire Punch, and I get the static off on my opponent's Groudon. For those of you who don't know, Groudon is ground, and so can't be paralyzed normally, except by abilities. So Zapdos' static ability actually aided me in this fight, and I get the Thunderbolt off on the Reshiram. Reshiram goes down, and I am going to set up the Dragon Dance. Now, for those of you who don't know, there is something you should really learn about using these primals, and that is don't send out Rayquaza if your opponent has something that they are weak to, which your primal's ability protects against. In this case, water type attacks. And what do I have on the field? Gyarados. So Rayquaza is gonna go for the Airlock ability. It would negate the effects of Primal Groudon's ability, but now he goes for the Delta Stream, which cancels out entirely Groudon's ability. And now there is nothing to stop my Gyarados from just YOLO waterfalling the Groudon. So Primal Groudon drops like a sack of rocks. That 4 times weakness is not exactly helping the Groudon. And Rayquaza is going to go for a Dragon Dance of his own. So yay! That's fun. But in any case, that is going to be the Rayquaza going to set up the Dragon Dance. Now out comes Giratina. So Giratina is now on the field. And Rayquaza is going to go for a Dragon Dance, or not a Dragon Dance, a Dragon Ascent of his own. Go for my Fang, my Gyarados. He's going to go YOLO down. Down goes my poor Fang. He tried his darndest, but that is the end of my Gyarados. He did all he could for me. I'm going to go for a Roost here because I was expecting some follow-up damage. And I believe Giratina goes for a Shadow Force. Yes, he does go for a Shadow Force. So Shadow Forcing Giratina. Who knew? So Giratina is now gone. Out comes this game's MVP. I'm just going to say it right now. It is indeed Fortin. So Rayquaza is going to go for a Dragon Ascent into Fortin. He's not going to do a whole lot of damage to me, regardless of how much damage Rayquaza does, because, well, I am Flying Steel, and Steel resists flying type attacks. So Rayquaza is going to, take some damage there. Not take some damage, but he's going to take some status loss. And I get the chance to pull off the paralysis onto the Rayquaza. Rayquaza is now paralyzed. Out comes Giratina. He decides to have a taste of Zapdos' static. So now Giratina is paralyzed. Without even trying to paralyze Giratina, I've paralyzed both of his Pokemon. And I'm going to just go for an Aerial Ace there. So Zapdos is now, because I'm fearing maybe a Shadow Sneak. But Rayquaza goes for a Dragon Ascent. He tries to take down Zapdos. Zapdos is safe. Giratina is paralyzed, and Forten goes for an Aerial Ace. So Rayquaza is really starting to lose some damage now. He's taking some serious damage. So Zapdos is now going to roost up, going to try and recover some health. I'm hoping the paralysis hits both of his Pokemon, and sure enough, Rayquaza is paralyzed, Giratina is paralyzed, neither of his Pokemon can move, and this gives Forten a chance to go for an Aerial Ace and take down the Rayquaza. So that is the end of the Great Rayquaza. And this is why, people, you do not rely solely on the power of legends. They can let you down. So Palkia is going to come out here. He's going to set up some pressure. I'm thinking maybe I'm faster, but it turns out Palkia is faster. So I'm thinking maybe he was timid nature or so. But in any case, that's going to be the end of my Zapdos. Zapdos goes down. Giratina is going to go for a Shadow Force. And I believe I have Forten go for a Roost to try and survive some more health. Try to survive some more damage output. So Forten is going to Roost. And I'm gonna go back to full HP, so that's a good Pokemon right there. That's a good Skarmory. Now Achilles comes out, so I'm thinking, okay, time to go for some detect shenanigans. I'm gonna go for more shenanigans. Palkia's gonna try and thunder my Achilles. I managed to avoid that. Giratina, on the other hand, goes for a Shadow Force into Forten. We've seen this song and dance before. Forten survives, goes for an Aerial Ace. Palkia gets some damage done, and, well, Achilles now is faster. So that is the whole plan behind Achilles. Stall for the first turn, get some speed boost, outspeed, pull out shenanigans. I'm going to go for a Bug Buzz here, hoping for a crit. I did not get the crit. Palkia is going to go for a Fire Blast. And Achilles is going to get a face full of fire and goes down. What do you know? It's Achilles' heel. It's his weakness. Giratina, meanwhile, goes for an Iron Head. And Forten, just sucks it up, says, big deal. And goes for an Aerial Ace into Palkia. Not a whole lot of damage done there. So, I'm kind of now in a bit of a pickle because I'm losing Pokemon. I don't have many Pokemon left. I think I'm down to my last two. Yes, I am down to my last two. So, it is now down to Giratina and Palkia versus Rayquaza and Forten. So I'm thinking, okay, how do I win this? I've only got Rayquaza and I've only got Forten. So Rayquaza is going to go for an Extreme Speed into Palkia, knock down that legendary. That's one more legendary down. And Rayquaza is going to lose some health. But I was hoping for paralysis attacks on Giratina, but Giratina does not get paralyzed, gets the Dragon Claw off, and that is going to be the end of Rayquaza. So that's the end of Rayquaza, and Forten's just going to Roost. So that's going to be Forten just sitting there. So I've not had my weakness policy activate. I really wish I had my weakness policy activate. And now out comes the Buzzwole. So Buzzwole is going to go for a Brick Break and a punch Forten. Forten, of course, takes it like a boss. Giratina is going to vanish instantly again. And Forten goes for the Swords Dance at long last. He finally gets the chance to show off his tech, and that is the Swords Dance. So Buzzwole is going to protect because he's probably suspecting I'm going to go for an Aerial Ace. And I do indeed not go for the Aerial Ace. Giratina is going to go for the Shadow Force into Forten. I survive barely by the skin of my teeth. Forten goes for another Roost. Forten, I really need to give him some PP ups for his Roost, but he gets a lot of health back, survives much. Buzzwole is going to go for a Brick Break, trying to do some more damage. Giratina is paralyzed, so I am still in the fight, and Forten decides it's a good time to Roost once more. So Forten is now roosting. He's back up into a health range where he can survive both Giratina and Buzzwole. Buzzwole goes for another Brick Break because he wants to break my bricks. Giratina is paralyzed. That is good. And out comes Forten's Aerial Ace. So Buzzwole drops like a sack of rocks because he's weak to my Skarmory's Aerial Ace. And down goes the Buzzwole. 4 times weakness to flying is not very fun, is it? And now Giratina goes for the Shadow Sneak, and this is where the stalling commences. Not so much stalling to win, but stalling simply so Forten has enough HP where he can survive Giratina's Shadow Force and, well, Shadow Force. So Giratina is gonna take some damage. I'm gonna go for a Steel Wing because I'm thinking maybe I can get a stat boost to my defense. Giratina takes some damage. Giratina is paralyzed. And I decided to go for a Roost because I figured he was going to get another Shadow Sneak off, or Shadow Force off. So Forten survives. Now he's sitting at full HP again. He has his Sturdy ability, and my opponent decides to forfeit. So he accepted defeat, and with that I conclude Tactician's Monday matches for today. I hope you all enjoyed the battles I just featured. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at FedoraRushyRam. If you'd like to leave a comment or like to subscribe to my channel, by all means, I welcome anyone who wants to follow me and chat with me. And if you'd like to see me in the Discord server, well, there's a link in the description down below. So until next time, my Tacticians, I will see you all later. I am your Fedora wearing RushyRam, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!
You've reached the point where you can't go on. Just come to me, you'll be safe from harm. If you trust in me, then I'll trust in you. There's nothing more that I need to do. If you put your hands in front